Hardcore Wrestling Radio. In HWR, we may not drop a lot of pipe bombs, but we sure as hell drop a lot of F-bombs. So don't say you weren't warned. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Hardcore Wrestling Radio. I'm the Shining Star Rick Star, and of course, I got the whole gang here with me. First, he's the Wrestle Gamer from WGS TV. He's Double B Bujo. Billy, welcome to the show.
So looking forward to the release of the PlayStation 4 in November.
And of course, he's my sidekick, he's my partner, he's all attitude, no filter. He's the son of a bitch, Andy. Andy, welcome to Hardcore Wrestling Radio.
Thanks for having me, and hello everybody in listening land.
And way over on the West Coast, he's the Bay Area MVP, known as Will. Will, welcome to the show.
If Miz wears that wig one more time, I swear he looks like Afro Thunder.
And way over from Lance Moss TV, he's incomparable, Lance Moss. Lance, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
We also have our special guest, Joseph Knight. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for letting me come in here. And I have to say, bring back the classics, damn it. Bring them back.
That's right. We have you from Classic Wrestling Association. So, what do you get going on this month, Joe?
Well, September 28th, we are doing our CWA live show. You're going to have Jason Knight defending his belt. He cheated the Atomic Dog last time, but this time a young guy who has been in the WWE, Ryan Mitchell, the Steel City Prodigy. He's coming back. So that's September 28th, Saturday, 7 o'clock. At the Center City Mall in Paterson, New Jersey. It's second floor right next to Planet 301, and I said that in one breath. And my legs are much better shape than Dixie's.
Wow.
Be careful, you might get a new stalker by the name of Andy.
As we get on to the show, there's a rumor talking that Biggie Langston could be going from heel to face. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys think, should he turn the face from heel to face? Andy, Billy, okay, go ahead.
Well, since he's falling flat on his face right now as a heel, doing absolutely, positively nothing, just rolling out a big old goose egg, just absolutely, just doing nothing in the WWE except beating up poor guys like R-Truth like he did on tonight's main event, I'd say, you know what? Wouldn't hurt to give him a shot.
Not a bad idea. Andy, what about you? What do you think?
I agree with Billy. I entirely agree with Billy. For a change.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, so am I. This conversation, we usually have a kind of big conversation here going in, and this is kind of going away nothing. Lance, what do you think? Do you think Biggie Langston going to do a face turn is going to be good for him or bad for him? What do you think?
It'll change stuff up, so sure, why not?
Will, over to you. Your thoughts.
Well, oh man. Well, can I say this is a long time coming? I don't know, but he is a big, talented wrestler, so it'd be intriguing for him to be a face, but wow, I mean, the million-dollar question is, how would you turn Biggie Langston? How would you do it? But
having him beat up 3MB.
Well, then there you go.
I would spray him white and give him ginger hair.
Wow.
Wait, spray him? Wait a minute.
Be the Sheamus.
Andy, we only need one Sheamus.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could be bulked up Sheamus or mini Sheamus, because I don't think he's as tall as Sheamus, is he? So he could be like mini me. You got mini Sheamus.
Or it could be one of the many cousins of Sheamus.
Joe, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is a good idea, or do you think they should turn him heel? Or do you think they should just leave him alone where he's at and give him time as a heel? Do you think there's too many heels, too many people swapping back and forth?
Well, the concept of good heels and baby faces are long gone, but I think with changing him at least back and forth, at least to now a baby face, it's going to help his career, because what has he really done? He's teamed with AJ Lee. He hasn't done nothing significant. So maybe this little change can push him. My main question is, if you're going to turn him face, who are you going to put him, or whom are you going to put him against?
That is a good question.
Yeah, I think if he does that, he's probably just going to I wouldn't mind seeing him going against Ryback. I think if he does anything, he's just going to go on his own for a while. I think he needs to go out on his own.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm going to make this quick. Look what the face turn did to Dolph Ziggler, and look how he is right now.
Oh, that's his own fault. That's his own fault from what I've heard.
Oh, absolutely. But when he was a heel, he was much better. You know, now it's like, you know, hopefully Big E can actually get in there. And I still stand by the thing I said before. Hook Ezekiel Jackson and Big E together, form them as a team, and have Booker T manage them as the new Harlem Heat.
All right. Well, we're going to move on a little bit more. We've been talking about the Hall of Fame, so especially one person in particular who we'd love to see in the Hall of Fame, and that's Macho Man. We talked this a little bit before the show, so we won't get too much into it. Macho Man's brother, pretty much, Lenny Poffo, said on kayfabe commentaries that he would not allow WWE to have his brother inducted because it was his brother's dying wish to have his father, the name escapes me, his brother Macho Man, and himself, Lenny Poffo.
Angelo Poffo.
Angelo Poffo, thank you. All three be inducted as a family, like the way, like other previous members. Anyways, make a long story incredibly short. So this is why he would not do it, but now, apparently he's had a change of heart. This is what he said. I gave them, the WWE, permission to do it without my permission. Just don't invite me, don't pay me. I don't need the 30 pieces of silver to defy my brother's wishes. Kayfabe commentaries had my best interview regarding with the reasons why Randy had me for this position. Now, again, I think that if they do induct it against Lenny's wishes, or with this without some kind of a writing of a contract, he can renege, and he can have some serious legal issues down the road. Wouldn't you agree, Andy?
As I said when we were off air, and I'll go back to what I said when we were off air, that I don't really see what Vince's issue is with inducting the old. If it's going to keep people sweet, then just induct the old Poffo family. I don't think anybody will be upset about that. And those that are, there's no reason why at a later date, once the Poffo family are in, so they've got their wish, they could invite Randy in on his own merit. So then the fans would get what they wanted. He's in there twice, pretty much like Ric Flair is.
Now, when you say their wish, you mean Lanny Poffo's wish?
No, I mean, I fully believe, I've seen the kayfabe interview with Lenny Poffo and his dear old mother, and his mother has got no reason to lie. She's not benefiting from it, and she said it was his wish before he died that the whole family would go in. So I don't think they're lying at all, and I think it would be downright disrespectful if they didn't honour the poor guy's wish.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Don't know what you guys think, but I'm all for, if that's what he wanted and he's not happy about doing anything else, then what is the problem?
Well, now the question is do you think that I'll even ask this to Billy, do you think that the WWE is just going to say, well, okay, well, fine, we got this word from Lenny Poffo, whatever it is, do you think they're going to go ahead and induct Macho, or do you think they're still going to kind of hold off and wait until they have a little bit more, something more concrete?
I think wrestling fans have been waiting an incredibly long time to see Macho Man Randy Savage earn his own wing into the WWE Hall of Fame. All the contributions, everything that he's accomplished, everything that he's done, not only in the World Wrestling Federation, but in World Championship Wrestling and wrestling in general. The man deserves to have his own contribution. I'm not saying his family is undeserving, even though the genius wasn't exactly a strong gimmick for Lanny Poffo, or he not exactly was a deed of talent that actually stuck out in wrestling back in the day. But I will say this though, I do remember the guy. And every time I looked at him, I was like 7 years old. I would turn to my mom and ask my mom, why is he acting like a girl? Other than that, I think the distinct difference, I would think, in inducting families into the Wrestling Hall of Fame is, I would think that fans would have to have known about them. Prime example, the Von Erich wrestling family. When I was growing up, as a kid, when I heard, the names Kerry Von Erich, David Von Erich, Kevin Von Erich, yeah, we all knew that, they were from the same family. When I was growing up as a kid, I had no idea that Leapin' Lenny Poffo or the Genius and the Macho Man Randy Savage were actually brothers. I had no idea about that. Nor was I aware about Angelo Poffo and the career that he had, all these years ago. I would think it would have, I can understand to honor the memory of the Poffo name and the family, to have them go in as a family. But the fact of the matter is, I think out of all the Poffos, and it's not being disrespectful at all, but out of all of the Poffos, I think personally, in my opinion, that Macho Man Randy Savage contributed more than his fair share out of the entire Poffo family, and deserves to go in there on his own. Just, I really don't know what else to say. I've said this to you guys many a time. Macho Man, the Mega Powers, him with Hulk Hogan. His first win at WrestleMania 4 for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. The runs that he had in World Championship Wrestling when he joined the New World Order, and some of the classic matches he had with Diamond Dallas Page in World Championship Wrestling. The guy, when you cut his promos, you always had that same classic Macho Man style to it. You knew, you knew you were watching a Macho Man promo, and he basically coined the "ooh yeah" saying. Flavor Flav can say, he can say it any way he wants to, but he derived that from Macho Man Randy Savage, in my opinion.
Yeah. And now we talked about the family members, but there's another person we had, which obviously has to be included in the Macho Man world, and of course that's Miss Elizabeth. Will, what are your thoughts? Miss Elizabeth, should she be included in that family pack as well, or should she be just inducted separately?
Well, there's two ways to go about it. Smart fans would say yes, why not? I mean, she's been there for mostly of Randy Savage's career, and then you're gonna have those that are gonna say, oh well, she's just known as Macho Man's valet, and we could be up all night here on the show talking about how beautiful she was and how she went with him to WCW after he left WWF at the time. But my honest stance would be, why not bring the package? I mean, she's been well known in her career being with Macho Man. I mean, where would Elizabeth be if she was with Macho Man? Probably nowhere. So might as well put her in the package.
Yeah. Joe, I want to ask you. I mean, now we know about how Miss Elizabeth passed away. Do you think the WWE, because the WWE has not even mentioned really Miss Elizabeth that much, she's almost probably in the same dark closet as Chris Benoit. Would you think that the WWE would ever induct her?
You know what? If you go, and I have to agree with everybody else, if you look at the film, you look at everything Macho has done, from his dad's promotion, the ICW back when they held it, when they went to Memphis, then when they went to WWF, to WWE, to WCW, Miss Elizabeth, in one capacity or another, was with him 100%. Okay, sometimes she was with Flair or with somebody else, but she always came back to his side. I believe, for purposes of history, they should induct her. And I have to disagree with you. Her thing wasn't as bad as the Benoit. She didn't kill anybody.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Unfortunately,
I agree with you.
Killed herself.
What I was saying is they have kind of segregated her. Yes, that's what I was saying. I never was. That was not my intentions at all. But I'm just saying that's the way the WWE's kind of classified her,
right?
So to speak.
And again, it's such an injustice because you have so many good people they can put in, and to have her excluded would be a real shame. If they're putting Donald Trump and Drew Carey and all these other celebrities, hey, they should just bring her in. She's the package. She's the entire powerful package as well, in my opinion.
Can I just say something here that every single person, even the WWE's overlooked about? Everybody says that the reason why Chris Benoit's not in is because he supposedly murdered his family and this, that, and the other. Well, somebody's in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion, who's done exactly a similar sort of crime. They've not murdered anybody, but the crime they committed is equally as bad, in my opinion.
Who's
And
that?
who am I referring to? Mike Tyson. Did he not go jail for raping a woman?
Valid point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just caught that nail right on the head.
Yeah.
I don't condone what Chris Benoit did, if the guy ever did do it, if they're ever going to find out the truth. But if he's linked with a death in wrestling, does that make it all right then for a bloke to rape and get charged and committed and do 10 years in prison? That's acceptable. I don't think it is.
You know, if I could throw in the only reason that Tyson is allowed in, look who his buddies were. He ran with the Clique. And that's a big factor. If Chris Benoit was in DX, he would have been in the Hall of Fame regardless of what he did. It's all about politics, and I think that's why you see Tyson in there, because he was a big part of the Clique and the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Popularity, it's a popularity thing. And well, let's talk about a few other people who should be inducted. We saw Goldust return to Raw, and the funny thing is, he had his quote unquote, what I call his one more match. Why isn't he inducted in the Hall of Fame? Any thoughts?
My personal opinion is I don't think Goldust's face has ever fitted with the WWE. That's just my honest opinion. I think he's as good as anybody else that's ever laced his boots up in the WWE, but he's a bit like another star who I would put in the similar sort of category, and that's William Regal. William Regal never gets any pat on the back or nothing, and he is up there with the Dean Malenkos, probably one of the best technical wrestlers that the WWE have ever produced. And I'm not just saying that because he's a Brit. He's an exceptional wrestler in his own right. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Will he ever go in? I very much doubt it.
Yeah, he probably won't go in until a couple of years down the road. Yeah,
if they run out of people.
Yeah.
I don't think that guy will go in until he's died.
And that's a shame.
I don't think people will even consider him going in, and I don't know why. When they've got the likes of the Iron Sheik in there, then I'm sorry. He should definitely be in.
Yeah. While we're talking about, people going in, we noticed that Jim Ross is retiring, and I was thinking to myself, wow, he should be inducted in the Hall of Fame, right? Probably. And
he is.
He already is.
What I thought. Now, how did that happen? How does somebody like Jim Ross and even Jerry the King Lawler get inducted to the Hall of Fame before they retire? Well, there are so many other people. Now, don't get me wrong. Do I think that they are worthy of being in the Hall of Fame someday? Absolutely. But here they are, still on the active payroll, still in the Hall of Fame.
I think we all knew Jerry the King Lawler. Was he inducted when he was iffing and ahhing whether to sign a new contract? I'm sure that's right. And JR had been off television for quite some time, so I think we all knew that it was not long before he was going to be hanging up his boots, because he was taking time off. Was it colon surgery or something? So none of us thought he'd be back anyway. So I think that's why they inducted them before they'd retired.
And can I say something right
Go ahead.
The main reason they probably got in while they were still semi-active, when you think Monday Night Raw on commentary, who do you think of?
Jim Ross, Jerry the King Lawler.
There you go.
But, They don't, but they don't put Hall of Fame. I mean, whether they do or not, I don't look at the see if they have the Hall of Famers. It's just kind of like, yeah, I know they're Hall of Famers, but I mean, look at JBL. He's not inducted in the Hall of Fame yet. But even still, there's so many other people that really truly is deserving of the inducted in the Hall of Fame, and they're inducting like celebrities. People who won, like Andy said, Mike Tyson didn't even occur to me. Yeah, a rapist who is in. There's other people. I hate to say it, Donald Trump. You know what? Yeah, okay. He's got big money. Yeah, he's held a couple of places. He was at WrestleMania 20, where or one of the 20 WrestleManias where he shaved Vince's head. And
23, I believe it was.
23, and that condones him to be a Hall of Famer. I'm sorry.
Not only that, but they hosted WrestleManias 4 and 5 back to back at Trump
he hosted
Plaza in Atlantic City.
It was a building. It wasn't like anything that he.
It's a building with Trump's name on it. It means Donald Trump.
Yeah, but the only thing is, Billy, when you think about it, what about all these other places that have had WWE WrestleManias?
They got to come in line before other wrestlers who's put their time and sweat and blood into it.
At the end of the day,
I never said anything about that.
But that's you're justifying it. My point is, go ahead.
I bet you at the end of the day, Donald Trump's had is. I don't know how much they would charge for the arena, Donald Trump's arena, but I bet you he charged Vince. So not only has he been in the Hall of Fame for having his arena featured on 2 WrestleManias or 3 WrestleManias, wherever it is, he's also been paid for it. Yeah. As probably Joseph can say, you do not go into a building unless you've got a very good rapport with them for free. He had no rapport with Vince at that time. He would have charged him a couple of $1,000, maybe $100,000 to hire his building. So he's made money out of being in the Hall of Fame. He's not done it for free. He might have done it. He might do it for free now, but I very much doubt it. No matter how rich he is.
No. And
so he's been well reimbursed for those WrestleManias.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and while there's other, wrestlers who put their time in who deserve to be in that spot, there's wrestlers like that, and there's like other actors who was in like one Royal Rumble, while there's wrestlers who've been putting their time in, and they're still sitting on the waiting list, waiting for my time, and they probably just won't get it because they're not popular enough, or they weren't big enough, you know what I mean, or they're just forgotten, or whatever word you want to choose.
Rick, why do I get the feeling that you really don't agree with the fact that Jim Ross is in the Hall of Fame right now?
It's not that, do I agree with it? I don't think that he's. I think it's way too early for But if you want my honest opinion, I just think it's just kind of funny that he's retiring now and he's in the Hall of Fame. That's like saying, why don't we put John Cena in the Hall of Fame now?
Well, the fact of the matter is, Jim Ross did a lot more than being just an on-air personality. There's a lot more.
I'm not disputing his work.
Because you got to talk to all the guys, and he was very well respected.
I don't deny that.
And when you're very well respected in the wrestling industry, the guys who know you in the industry, the guys like the Shawn Michaels, the Bret Harts, even Stone Cold Steve Austin, they hold Jim Ross in the highest regards. If you ever want to have a 5-star quality match called on TV, you go talk to Jim Ross.
Okay, you made a valid point. You made a valid point, but my point is this, okay? If you want to be in the Hall of Fame, I suggest you do it after you retire, not while you're still, on the job. He's sitting there, all right, Hall of Fame usually means I'm retiring, I'm done, and then he's still
after
working.
They inducted Nature Boy Ric Flair into the Hall of Fame, they should have just flat out canceled the match between him and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 24.
Well, that was a joke, if you ask me, but that's beside the point. Did anybody really think he was going to retire?
No, not really.
All right, then.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
One thing about this whole scenario, this whole Hall of Fame that the WWE does, isn't it first for the WWE/F people first? Shouldn't it be for those countless people who have been there in the WWF first.
See,
You know,
that's
I can understand bringing, like Vern Gagne. Are they ever going to bring Jim Crockett? You know, are they going to ever bring, I don't know
Bill
if they ever did.
Watts.
Bill Watts, Mike Graham. Are they
and
going to
that's the
induct
point
Eddie
I'm
Graham?
making. The point is they're bringing these. Well, yet they have plenty of time to induct, celebrities who were in like WrestleMania 24.
Well, let's say this though, they could have approached these guys, and these guys could have turned them down.
Okay. Well,
Who's to say that they haven't turned them down?
What about somebody like Fred Ottman, who we've talked about, and he said he would like to be in the Hall of Fame. Okay. John Tenta, who said people like that who want to be in, who could be in, who should be in, and they're not getting in. Come on, you're I hate to say it, but you're kind of marking out for the WWE. No disrespect.
I'm not marking out for the WWE. I'm just open to any and all of the possible scenarios. You're playing out there that there's only one scenario that's out there, that they're only choosing these guys. Who's to say that these guys, when you get it, is it safe to say that when you get into the Hall of Fame, you're basically almost assigned like a Legends contract of sort with the WWE?
To a point, yes. But I don't.
Some wrestlers, old-time wrestlers, don't want that.
And do you think that happens with Bruno Sammartino? You think he's on a Legends contract, or you think they just inducted him?
I really don't know the full details. I mean, I'm not in the WWE Hall of Fame.
I think we're getting way off track here about who should be or who shouldn't be. I think the fact is the WWE likes to pick people for popularity and for what's going to sell at the Hall of Fame. That's just me. It's a popularity thing. Whether you agree or disagree, that's what I think. Joe, would you agree to that, or would you disagree?
Oh, I agree. And there's one thing I have to ask, and maybe you guys are more knowledgeable than me in this, because, like I said, I'm an old timer. So,
yeah.
Who actually decides who's coming into the Hall of Fame? Because if it's Triple H, it's going to be all his clique buddies first. It's going to be everybody that kind of, tickles his little fancy, and people like that. Bruno Sammartino's a perfect example. Throughout the years since the Hall of Fame started, he has vehemently said it. He would never be in the Hall of Fame. Never be in the Hall of Fame. And here he is in the Hall of Fame. Was it they offered him, a shitload of money, or did they, was it finally they gave him something from the back burner? Like say, hey, we'll pay you for all those old Superstar DVDs that you did, all those shows that you did with me and who was it? And Jesse Ventura. Is it again, I just wonder, because if it was old people, like it was Pat Patterson, the Briscoes, or whoever, you'll be seeing a lot of the old guys in there. Because I don't even know, do they have Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo? Do they have...
They have Barry Windham as part of the Four Horsemen, because Ole Anderson has adamantly said that he hates Vince McMahon with a passion and will never be involved in anything involving WWE or anything WWE related. He adamantly hates Vince McMahon with a passion.
You know what?
And who was that? I'm sorry, who was that?
Ole Anderson.
Yeah,
so
but you know what? And here's the thing I have to say about that, and I'll let it go. It's quote Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, not the junior, the senior. Everyone has a price, and we don't know if Bruno had a price. Obviously, some, you flash enough money in front of them, they'll do it regardless. So, and then I believe that's where it stands.
Yeah, but I think Ole Anderson released some statements adamantly saying that I think he would like just absolutely beat the crap out of Vince McMahon rather than be in the WWE Hall of Fame. The Vince McMahon actually turns his stomach.
Wow.
Something to that extent. I remember reading that story about, I want to say, more than a year and a half, 2 years ago. Seeing that story, when I think it was like when the first word broke out that the Four Horsemen were going in the Hall of Fame. A lot of the fans were wondering, just what incarnation of the Four Horsemen, which part of the group, because a lot of fans really wouldn't have been missed. I know I wouldn't have missed to see Chris Benoit's name being associated in there. I mean, but there were so many different variations of the Four Horsemen, but I think fans really, really wanted to see the original four, the original group of the Four Horsemen, which was James J. Dillon, Tully Blanchard, Ole and Arn Anderson, and Ric Flair. A lot of fans really, really wanted to have seen that. I really wanted to have seen that because without the Four Horsemen, there would be no groups or factions like that in wrestling today. There would have been no DX. There would have been no New World Order. There would have been no Evolution. There would have been no Legacy. There would have been no. Well, I missed to say the 3MB, but then again, that I don't even put them in the same classification as the Four Horsemen. But you kind of get what I'm saying.
Well, let me ask you a real quick on this. Should Lex Luger been included into that Four Horsemen package since he was there prominently in the Four Horsemen as well as in the WWE too?
I would say yes. Because he contributed to the group. He contributed, even though it wasn't for a short time. Another person's name you could also bring into that is Sid Vicious. Sid Vicious was also in there, even despite the infamous 1987 scissors incident he had with Arn Anderson. But do I say that, should Sid Vicious be in the Hall of Fame as part of the Four Horsemen? If he was in the Four Horsemen, I'd say yes. You were part of the gimmick. You were part of the angle involving the Four Horsemen. They put you with this group for a reason. And that reason was that you were good at that time. Now, we didn't realize that you were going to pick up a pair of scissors and nearly stab Arn Anderson to death. But then again, we never really knew that. We didn't know at the time that Sid Vicious was that big of a steroid monkey. But apparently, you don't grow that big just naturally. But you kind of get what I'm saying right there.
All right. Well.
Not only that, he's got the only classification I know in wrestling now is having one of the worst, most horrific wrestling injuries I've ever seen, and that's when he had his leg snapped in half on I believe it was WCW Sin back in 2000. It was either 2000 or 2001, but he was involved in the triple threat match, and he just came down and just literally just. His calf all the way down to his leg just snapped completely in half.
Yep. As we get way off track here.
Yeah.
Let's
off track yet interesting.
Yeah, let's try to get back on track here. And we were talking about entering people into the Hall of Fame, and then we were talking about Jim Ross retiring, and he's retiring after 20 years.
There'll never be another Jim Ross on commentary, I'll tell you that.
I think there always will be eventually.
Not as good as him. Not as good as he did.
You know what? I think Gorilla Monsoon. You got a lot of other a lot of commentators that came down the pipe.
Yeah, but isn't Gorilla Monsoon already in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
But you're saying there'll be nobody as good as him, and I'm just saying I think the commentators there are a lot of commentators that are just as good. He was a classic. He'll be one of the best, if not, probably in the top three. You never know what comes down the line. 10 years down the road, there might be somebody that blows him out of the water. That might be just as good as him. You never know. But for the time being, yes, we'll just consider him as one of the best. But let's move on to our main topic. Before we have a new guest on somebody in. I think James, someone just came in. Didn't the bus come on? We have a bus stop.
The wheels on the bus pulled in, Rick. James.
Huh?
Who are you holding captive in the Houdat Temple? Who are you holding captive on the Houdat Temple right now, James?
The world.
He says the world. So he says.
He's holding the world captive.
Only on Hardcore Wrestling Radio, guys. Well, now we're going to get to our main topic of the night, which, of course, everybody knows this Sunday is WWE's Night of Champions. So we're going to do, pick and choose our prediction nights. So the first match, of course, is the kickoff match, which is Tag Team Turmoil. It's going to be the Primetime Players versus the Usos versus Tons of Funk versus the Real Americans versus the 3MB. This match is quite interesting. I'm not exactly sure how this match is going to be broken down. Anybody have an idea, Billy?
It's gone. It's going to be what they said in WWE main event, there's going to be an order that is selected, and it's going to be in that order, and it's basically be like a gauntlet match. If you're the team that drew number one, you kind of have to run the gauntlet. If you want that number one contendership, you have to beat all the other members of the team in tag team matches. But beyond that scope, like I said, once you beat a team, they're eliminated. The next team comes out. It's basically a gauntlet match. Is what we're looking at here. That's what it is.
Okay. Well, since you have got the info, who are you picking to win this gauntlet match?
I'll tell you who I'm not picking. That's 3MB. I mean, WWE, if they want to be completely retarded, yeah, go with 3MB. Yeah, a jobber gimmick in there, but basically, you got some good, good teams. I would not be surprised if it was Real Americans, but to be honest with you, with heel versus heel in a tag team format really wouldn't gel for a championship match, in my opinion. There are two teams that are supposedly really semi-over right now, and that's the Primetime Players, the Usos, and Tons of Funk. Usos, they've had a run before. Fans are familiar with them. I think fans really might want to see the Primetime Players get a shot at the tag team gold ever since they supposedly turned face with Darren Young coming out, so that automatically, oh, yeah, you have to root for the guy like Darren Young because he came out, he was, I'm not going to knock the guy for his lifestyle, because I got my own different kind of a lifestyle, and you guys follow me on Facebook, you know what it is, and if y'all don't, too bad. But the fact of the matter is they're taking that and they use that to turn the tag team face. I think fans want to see. I would say the fans would want to see Primetime Players versus the Shield. So I want to say, based on that fact, I've narrowed it down to the Usos or the Primetime Players, but taking into consideration what I've just talked about, you gotta go for the Primetime Players.
All right, Andy, over to you. Out of those who would you pick for the going through this tag team turmoil?
Keep in mind that they have the title match on the Night of Champions pay-per-view.
Yep.
Yeah, my honest opinion, and then I'll leave it at that. It's going to be the piss break tournament. That's all I've got to say.
Wow. I really think it's going to be.
I'm as excited about that as I am passing an hemorrhoid.
And you know what? Secretly, ladies and gentlemen, Andy likes passing hemorrhoids. He's just in denial.
Isn't there? Didn't you make that into a sport, Andy?
Yes. Tiddly hemorrhoids.
I thought it was called cricket.
It's like tiddlywinks, but you have to lie down with your butt sticking up in the air, and somebody presses them with a 10-cent piece.
Break out the Lysol.
All right, Lance, over to you.
Well, nice segue, but okay. I could have.
Okay.
Over the mic.
I didn't hear you on that. So if you want me, I'll pass over to Will. I'll give you a chance to think. Will, over
I'll
to you.
go Usos.
Usos? Okay, Usos.
All right. Well, as much that Primetime Players are getting over, and I know I said on many occasions that I wanted them to succeed. Then they fell off for a while, and they were mostly losing. But now they get back on the upper hand just because of Darren Young coming out. I mean, okay. I don't see 3MB winning because they're a circus joke. Keyword circus. Real Americans, yeah, that'll be the day. Tons of Funk. I kind of think this tag team needs to go away now. Make them go back to singles competition. Usos, I would go Usos. Only problem is I think their little run has lost a step. So put me down for millions of pennies. Millions of dollars. I'll go for Primetime Players.
And last but not least, oh no, wait, we have two more people. Sorry, James, over to you.
Millions of dollars. I'm going to go with the Primetime Players just because I think the WWE is pushing them more and more ever since Darren Young came out. So
yeah, so they're doing the political thing. All right.
yeah.
James, I hate to say it, but your millions of dollars have lost a lot of financial interest in the bank.
Joe, over to you.
Wow. Yeah, the Usos remind me of the Islanders. You have tons of funk that remind me a bit of the Natural Disasters, Primetime Players, which is Harlem Heat, the Real Americans, which is I don't see them getting anywhere. 3MB, they need to get away. They need to take that team away. You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say out of those teams that involved, one team is gonna drop out, and Los Matadors are gonna fill in that spot. So my
Yeah.
wild card,
Yes.
is gonna be Los Matadors. They're
That
gonna
sounds
be
like a
thrown in
good
that
idea.
mix.
Since you know what, I'll stand behind you. I'll say the Los Matadors jumps in and they get the other. Now we'll talk about whether they're
No,
going to win or lose.
maybe not necessarily have one of the teams drop out. Maybe have them as an
Surprise entrant.
addition. As a surprise entrant, and change it from a 5-team format to a 6-team format.
But all right, so we have Los Matadors, okay, as the extra one. All right, and it sounds like a great possibility. So
Somewhere Tito Santana is smiling.
just not Tito Ortiz because he's still.
He should be their manager. He should come out dressed like them. But I still say one team is going to be eliminated from this turmoil, and watch the Matadors come in and take that spot because it's going to be too much teams.
Now over we have the handicap elimination match, which is CM Punk versus Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman. Now, before we actually get to the actual match, I have one question. Why is Curtis Axel still not defending his title?
Because they're gonna have him defended the next night on Monday Night Raw against Kofi Kingston.
Okay, all right.
That's
Probably.
my personal opinion. Based on the fact that on tonight's WWE main event, which the opening match was Kofi Kingston and Antonio Cesaro, one of the key things they really kept pushing on commentary was the fact that Kofi Kingston deserves a shot at the Intercontinental title, and they were really emphasizing the wins that he's had over Curtis Axel on the Friday Night SmackDown and the one on Monday Night Raw. Then the fact that he deserves a shot. So I'm just going off of that, going off an assumption. I've always based everything I've said, whether it's here on HWR on WGS TV. YouTube.com/WrestleGamer plug. The fact that I never look at spoilers. I don't use them. I hate them. I think spoilers are completely stupid. People should stop doing them. I base everything that I say when it comes to predictions based on what I've seen in the past and assumptions. And I assume that on Monday Night Raw, the night after Night of Champions, we will see an Intercontinental title match between Kofi Kingston and Curtis Axel, where we see Curtis Axel drop the title to Kofi Kingston, who would be a much better Intercontinental champion than Curtis Axel at this point in time.
Yeah, because he hasn't really defended it. He's just kind of held onto it, and walked around with it, pretty much in the same way that Devon walked around with the TNA TV title. That's just my opinion. But
Yuck. Kofi Kingston, yuck. I'm sorry.
well, you know what? You can say Kofi Kingston, but at least he'll defend it. I mean, come on. Curtis Axel's not defended that title. He's had that title, and he's gotten beaten and beaten and beaten, and he's never defended it. I'm like, how the fuck is this guy holding the title? Give me a break.
Here is what's going to happen, gentlemen. And I'll mark it down. He's going to hold on. He's not going to defend the belt, obviously. Monday Night Raw, I agree with Billy. He's going to defend that title, but not against Kofi Kingston, against Santino Marella.
Oh Lord.
I don't think that's going to happen because Santino Marella he's on the rise, but I don't think he's on that rise yet, and I think he's worthy of it, but it's not yet.
And Santino Marella wasn't the one that beat Curtis Axel on a SmackDown on a Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
It was Kofi Kingston.
Well, let's get back to the actual show. For this match, it's going to be CM Punk. Obviously, I'm going to say I think that we're going to see what happens. Curtis Axel. He's going to beat Curtis Axel. Now, Paul Heyman is going to get to Paul Heyman. I'm guessing that's what we're going to see what's happen. So, I'm not expecting too much from this match because I'm expecting somebody to do a run-in or something to happen. I don't think we're going to see the just desserts. I don't see the end game for this match. It's going to be extended out somehow. Andy, your thoughts?
Sorry, I took my headset off and put it back on, and I just heard you say, Andy, your thoughts.
Oh,
yes, I'm thinking of Dixie
You're doing your
Carter as we speak.
No, you were doing your hemorrhoid sports again, weren't you?
No,
yep.
Sorry, we were talking about the elimination match between CM Punk, Curtis Axel, and Paul Heyman, and I said that I don't think that it's not going to have the end game. Obviously, CM Punk's going to win, but I don't see him getting his hands on Paul Heyman the way he wants to. It's going to wind up getting stretched out.
I don't think CM Punk is going to win. I really don't.
Well, how do you see it happening?
Well, if he wins, then they've promised everybody that he's going to get his hands on Paul Heyman. So we know he's not going to get his hands on Paul Heyman. And what better way to shock everybody by him losing? Because everybody thinks he's going to win and then he's going to get robbed out of getting his hands on Paul Heyman. Why not just lose? That'll take everybody by surprise. Plus, it gives Uncle Kurt there a bit of a push.
Uncle Kurt?
Uncle Kurt.
I mean, they've been looking for a push for the guy now for the last, 3 or 4 months, and they've not really pushed him to do anything, and this is the push he needs. He needs to beat one of the top guys.
In one of the heavily rumored Survivor Series elimination tag matches this year, rumored to be Team Punk versus Team Heyman.
That is it.
I mean, I don't think he'll win fairly. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's going to win because if they don't give him that push soon, people are going to get bored. We got bored the moment he walked in the ring. We were all saying, like, what has he got to give? He's got no charisma. He's got nothing. He's just a poor rip-off of his father.
Lance, what are your thoughts? What do you think?
Punk, but not cleanly. I mean, Punk's gonna win, but it's gonna be by disqualification. He's gonna beat Axel, but Axel's gonna jump in when he goes for Heyman.
All right.
Could Brock Lesnar come back?
He's supposedly not supposed to be back until like WrestleMania time, Road to WrestleMania. That's his contract.
Is Brock Lesnar going to come back when he goes to attack Paul Heyman?
Maybe. Who knows? If it does, they'd have to start up another feud. And I just don't see that happening.
I don't see The Rock coming back and saving anybody soon. Do you?
No.
Oh, what a bitch.
Will, over to you.
CM Punk is gonna win, but not cleanly. I just see a whole bunch of ruckus going about, and somebody's gonna get hit with another kendo stick. We just got to wait and tune in.
All right, James, your thoughts.
For me, I believe Punk is gonna win, but I don't think Axel is gonna help out Heyman. I think there's the rumors that they may have another Paul Heyman guy come in. So I think the new Paul Heyman guy is gonna come in and help out beat up CM Punk.
Interesting thoughts. All right, Billy, over to you.
James did bring up an interesting point about the fact that there's a rumored new Paul Heyman guy coming in, and if you really want to build towards this Team Punk versus a Team Heyman, you need to have more Paul Heyman guys. I mean, you only have Brock Lesnar and Curtis Axel. That really doesn't constitute a 5-man team.
Yeah.
You need to have more guys being Paul Heyman guys to actually go through with this. Now, as far as this matchup's concerned, look at what we've seen over the past couple of weeks. We've seen, at some points Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman getting the better of CM Punk, and in the last couple of times, what we've seen CM Punk get the better of Paul Heyman and Curtis Axel. And of course, that poor doctor got his ass whipped by the kendo stick on Monday Night Raw. But that's besides the point. But anyway, could he be the new Paul Heyman guy? You never know. But anyway, looking at this, it's very, very difficult to say because there are so many different scenarios that could play out. They could stick with the run-in by the supposed new Paul Heyman guy that might be coming in. That would make sense, and then that could start help building towards Team Punk versus Team Heyman. Another scenario that they could be looking at is, Paul Heyman could be in the ring about to get beat up, and he's calling out to Curtis Axel, and then Curtis Axel says, "You know what? I had enough of you. I'm done with you," and just walks out on Paul Heyman. Either way, I see Punk being declared the winner, but with there's with so many different types of scenarios that could go through, it's still very hard to say as to which one will definitely play out. But more than likely, it's going to be CM Punk who's going to be known as the winner of the match.
Yeah. I this way I see it. I see him winning, but I don't see him really getting his hands on Heyman, or at least a full hand. He might get like a half of a hand, so to speak, but he's not gonna get
By the way, a big
starts.
very happy birthday to Paul Heyman.
Yes, happy birthday. Yeah. Whether he's gonna get his how old is he today?
They didn't say on the Facebook page I saw, but all they said it was today his birthday.
Rick, he is 48 years old.
Well, maybe this Sunday, John Cena will get a chance to give him his 48 spanks.
John Cena.
CM Punk.
CM Punk. Okay, that's my. Sorry, I smoke another one, Rick. So.
Let me ask something. Where is Night of Champions being held? It's very important.
Can someone look that up really, really quick?
Night of Champions? Yep.
Reason I'm saying is, if it's anywhere in Pennsylvania, like Philly, expect Paul Heyman to bring out an old ECW Paul Heyman guy. Even if the guy comes in and just gets the beating of his life, but expect, if it's in Philadelphia or anywhere close to that, my personal opinion, watch for an old ECW guy to come back.
It's going to be Mikey Whipwreck.
Yeah, you never know, because that will set up the Survival Series 5-on-5 or whatever way they want to do it.
Tommy Dreamer.
Detroit, Michigan.
Tommy Dreamer.
So you have to look at that, gentlemen. There's not many young guys who Paul Heyman or WWE is pushing. So maybe this is an opportunity for him to bring somebody from his old time back just for the cheap pop, get in there, set up his team hardcore for the Survival Series, and be off in the running.
Yep, good point. And again, I never would have thought about that factor.
It's going to bring in Alex Shelley.
Yeah. Let's talk about the United States title match with Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler. These two have been kind of at each other's throats for the past couple of weeks.
Not that I'm not aware of it. I mean, I've never heard of it.
That's the first I'm hearing of it.
Yeah, that's the first time I'm hearing it as well.
That's a rumored match. It's not on WWE.com as an official match. That's the weird part.
There you go. You just blew Rick's topic out the water.
Yeah, it's not on WWE.com.
So it's probably a pre-show match.
No, it's not the pre-show match. That's the kickoff show. Is the Tag Team Turmoil. But they had the other match. What that match might be, that match will probably be announced on Friday Night SmackDown. That was probably somebody who posted the spoilers.
Yeah.
So. No. I looked at spoilers. There's no United States title match on SmackDown.
There's no. Okay, so you're positive of that. Okay. So
it could be announced later on WWE.com.
Okay, fine. So for shits and giggles, if this match does happen, we're just gonna do start. All right. So let's say if a United States title match does happen, which it's not officially now, if we see Dean Ambrose taking on Dolph Ziggler, because they have been kind of like nipping at each other, it would make sense that this match would happen. Can we all at least agree that this match should happen for some reason?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we're on the same page.
There you go.
Ziggler's been kind of on a downward spiral, though. I mean, even after he fought Bray Wyatt, he kind of
happens when you piss off people in the back.
You know what? That's been talk. So what exactly did he do to piss people off in the back?
Well, that's the thing. They're not releasing that information.
They're not releasing that, but they're releasing that they piss people off in the back. Does that make any sense to you?
Not really, right, but
I mean, let's not put any rumors out that we don't have facts on. Let's stick to facts that we know.
Well, the storyline is, that he's disagreeing with Triple H, the
Yeah,
boss, and
exactly.
and he'd be one of the guys that's going to be made an example out of, like he's been trying to do with Daniel Bryan, and look what he's done to Dolph Ziggler for the past couple of weeks. He has not told him who his opponent was going to be on Raw or SmackDown, and they both went out of his way to make sure that Dolph Ziggler lost the match. I mean, that's so far that's been the peak of involvement when it comes to Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose, and
Yeah.
it would make sense to have them go at it in a match, to be honest. But would they put the title on Dolph Ziggler? Honestly, right now they put the World Heavyweight title on Dolph Ziggler, and what did that do? Nothing. Honestly, they turned him face. Yeah, he's a phenomenal guy, but they put the World Heavyweight title on him, and he just kind of fell flat. And I think right now the United States title, I think, means more being a part of the Shield on Dean Ambrose more than having Dolph Ziggler have it. So if I would officially, if this match would officially happen, I would say it wouldn't be a clean win. It would be I would say Dolph Ziggler would probably win the match due to disqualification for a possible run-in by the Shield.
All right. As
You wouldn't put it past WWE to pull off something like that when it comes to the Shield. They would get him disqualified to keep the title on him. I know I'm not talking cuckoo here.
Billy, with you, anything's possible. Moving on. You know what? Let's. Will, over to you. What are your thoughts?
Well, like everybody will probably predict, even though I don't watch SmackDown as of late, if this were an official match, I mean, everybody made a great point. Ziggler turned face, but he's been going down the tuber, as Andy would say. And, I mean, Ambrose would pretty much regain the title, but if they were to have Ziggler win, then it would be a clean win. It would be Ziggler by disqualification. Whatever happened in the back with Ziggler and whoever's in the doghouse, and I don't know. But if this were official, I see Dean Ambrose keeping the belt. Something's going to happen. Shield will obviously interfere if Ziggler gets into some sort of good momentum or something. But throw it on Ambrose for the win.
Andy, is down the tuber one of your famous double entendres?
Yeah, I like it down the tube.
Oh, God.
Oh, Lord.
Not up
Better
the
than
shaft.
up the pipe. Yes, better than up the pipe. No, I think I'd go with, as much as I don't like either of them, Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. If this match does take place, I have to go with Dean Ambrose, unfortunately, because the WWE, for one reason or another, they are just jobbing out Ziggler. And I don't know why, because I think he's worth a lot more than that.
Because they've been listening to the show, and I called it 12 months ago.
Yeah.
Did I not say be job?
Well, if they were listening to the show, why aren't they putting John Cena on the show? That we said, maybe you should have called out that we'd have John Cena and Vince McMahon on the show.
Well, they might come on. You never know. I mean, they listened to us 12 months ago, and I said that Dick Jiggler, as we were calling him at the time, had got no talent and he wouldn't last in the WWE. And bugger me, it's happened.
Mr. Ziggles. Have you guys seen the picture of John Cena's scar on his arm from his surgery? Good God.
Well,
Thank God for Photoshop.
yeah, let's move on. Lance, what do you think? Who's your pick for the Ambrose Ziggler match?
One way or another, they're not putting the belt on Dolph Ziggler right now. I gotta go with Ambrose.
All right. James, your thoughts?
For me, I say they're gonna keep the title on Ambrose. Here's the thing why. I think this thing between Ambrose and Ziggler will continue on, past Night of Champions. He's gonna get involved with the main story. Ziggler's gonna get involved with the main storyline too. And it's gonna be like Shield, Orton, and then you got Daniel Bryan, Ziggler, and a couple others.
All right. Will, your thought? Oh, over to you.
If I gotta do it again, it'll be Ambrose.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Mr. CWA hasn't made a...
Yeah, and that's where I'm going right now. Joe, over to you. Thank you, Billy.
Definitely got to go with Ambrose. The Shield right now has that nice corporate push, so they're gonna keep it. He's gonna keep it.
All right, well, let's get on to a match that we know are having. So, the WWE Divas title match. Some people call this the proverbial piss break. Excuse me, I get my tongue untied there. It's going to be AJ Lee, Natalya, Brie Bella, and Naomi. Now, normally I would have to agree with a lot of people, but this match could actually be pretty good because, there's a lot of ladies in there with a lot of talent. Naomi, AJ Lee, and Natalya all have great talent. Brie Bella, on the other hand, she's just, candy. So, unfortunately, she can't receive the shit. But you know what? 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Right.
She's yanking the beard. That's why she's there.
She's got the tits. That's what it is.
No,
No, that's the other belt.
No, that's the other twin.
Is it? Okay, well, I don't know. I can't tell one Bella from the other. I mean, I just know one's got big tits and the other one's just kind of like...
Say it properly, Rick. She blossomed. She blossomed in the WWE.
Oh, she blossomed. Yes, okay.
With the help of a surgical doctor.
Yes, remember years ago, Stephanie McMahon wasn't so huge, and she blossomed.
I believe that Y2J used the words. I believe, look, Stephanie did some growing up over the past couple of years.
There you go.
There we go.
And I think Stone Cold Steve Austin also made a statement there was more foam in her bra than in one of his beers.
Yeah, it's all right. I wouldn't mind licking that foam.
Weapons of mass destruction.
All right. If I had to really pick somebody who's going to win, I don't have a pick. Who I would like to see win, period, Natalya. She's truly deserving of a title run. That's just my thoughts.
What about the run that AJ's having? She's doing more as the Divas champion than any of the past champions before, and just look at the fact of what she did on commentary on Monday Night Raw.
Can I say something?
No.
What?
I'm sorry.
To be honest with you, Billy, no, I didn't. So that's.
I'm sorry, Billy, to cut you off, but here's the point.
You can't cut him off. He needs to be cut off a couple of times. Go ahead.
Here's the reason why. No, AJ, you're right. AJ Lee has, I believe, the best run as the Divas champion. But the reason why they're going to take the title off of AJ, I believe they're going to take the title off of AJ. I'd say Natalya. I don't have a pick, but I think Natalya. But here's the reason why. Total Divas. That's your main reason. They have to give the title to one of the Total Divas to promote their show, to have them all hyped up and all that, say they're the best and all that stuff. That's the reason why they're going to take the title off AJ. I want the title kept on AJ, but they're going to give the title to one of the Total Divas. And I feel Natalya is the best among those three.
I have to agree. Other than that, we can give it to Oksana, but
But Oksana,
maybe that will shut Billy up for a little bit more longer. Well, let's pass it over to Will. Will, what are your thoughts?
I'm scared to even answer this one, to be honest. I'm really scared.
Rick certainly wants Bertha Faye in the match.
I don't even know how to answer that one, but go ahead.
Rosie Lotta Love. Enough said.
I think everything James has said is very accurate, and knowing WWE's direction with the Divas and why they have this show in the first place, as much as I agree with James on everything on this one. This is where it's going to be where one of the Divas is going to bring the belt to the Total Divas channel, start flaunting off their ego. Look at me, I'm the Divas champion. I'm about to get another pay raise. Give me a fucking break. But in all modesty and everything, I would say Natalya is deserving to get the title, but this is all publicity stunt, and like James said, this is Total Divas at its finest. After AJ's couple of pipe bombs, it's all come down to this. So not gonna really watch it, but I would think Natalya would have a dire and a big chance to go for the belt. I don't see Naomi with it, and I don't see Brie Bella with it, so there you go.
Sad state of affairs, though. Brie Bella is a former Divas champion, and if WWE is really wanting to hype over and put over that product, sadly enough, they will probably look towards a former champion in that aspect, and Brie Bella. But I don't want that to happen because I don't think Brie Bella is talented enough, even though WWE has put the title on her basically just for the fact she's yanking the beard. I would say more than likely it would be Brie Bella, but I want AJ to win.
Well, I still get, I still think that Natalia. Actually, I'm gonna pass it over to Joe. What do you think, real quick?
Wow. Well, that's a match I will be sleeping in, but
Oh, okay.
no. let me go back on it. But you know what? I would love to see Natalia on it, and for the same reason that the guys are saying here, because then they can flaunt it on their Diva TV show. It's again, they can. You know what? They can have the ultimate swerve and still keep it on AJ, so that belt does not go to the Divas. Because I don't think AJ is part of that little Divas knockout, whatever they want to call it, TV show.
No.
What better way to really do the swerve by not sending it to that TV show?
Well, the funny thing is about that TV show, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like coming on the season finale pretty soon.
Yeah, season, this Sunday.
This Sunday is yeah.
It's the mid-season finale
exactly.
for Total Divas.
So if one of the Total Divas does get it, it's over. I mean, the promo is all done. They're actually working on season 2, from what I read by the news.
I still don't understand what a mid-season finale is.
Oh, it's a mid-season finale? Oh, I thought that was the season finale.
Mid-season finale.
Hold on. I explained it. So basically, this whole Total Divas that they're having right now, because I'm the Divas correspondent here, I don't know why. But, so basically, this first few episodes was just basically a test. But they saw how successful it was with the ratings that they added more. They added more to the season. So technically what they're taping right now is still season 1. But that whole promo with AJ and the title match is going to be most likely on the Total Diva show, which will be maybe the last episode, which is the season finale, which will be in November, December, if I remember.
Well, and you know what?
As much as I dislike AJ and all those knockouts, except for Natalia, and not only because she's an attractive woman, but she can wrestle. That's the name of the game, wrestle. I don't see any of them winning the belt. I see AJ keeping it and just walking away saying, "Ha, you divas fought each other." They're probably gonna do it like this. Think about it. They're gonna have all these little Total Divas fighting against each other, doing stuff. AJ's gonna sit outside, we'll let them kill each other, sneak in, do the roll up, and laugh and leave. Because now she beat all the Total Divas. With her promo that she did, that's the most likeliest outcome that can happen.
No. All right, Lance, over to you, real quick.
Well, as much as I hate to say it, Brie Bella.
Yeah, it's possible. You think that the politics again could play into it? That
yes.
Maybe she's not only their twin sisters, doing John Cena, who's like the face of the company still, and if Daniel Bryan, he's moving up in the ranks, I'm sure that's gonna do her a few favors. What do you guys think, Andy?
I think Mantalia is going to win, to be perfectly honest.
I will say this, though. If they put the title on one of the Total Divas, it still won't be enough to get me to watch the show. I will not watch Total Divas at all. I'm flat out said it. I said it on WGS TV, and I'm saying it right here on Hardcore Wrestling Radio. There is nothing you guys can say or do to make me watch that garbage shit of a program.
That's right. He's too busy watching Hanging with the Kardashians.
God, you're about to open up the pits of hell, Rick.
He's too busy bashing his joystick on Super Mario Kart.
Hey, get it right. It's not Super Mario Kart. It's Mario Party.
Anyway.
As we get along, and
next match.
Yeah. Well, let's get on to the world title match. We have Alberto Del Rio versus Rob Van Dam, and this one is where I'm a little bit stuck on.
Hey! It's not Rob Van Dam. It's Rob Van Dam.
Well, I'm sorry. My tongue only works like that when I'm in certain situations with women. Sorry.
That. Hey, I thought it was that and weed.
You know.
Rick, I thought it was that and weed.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm on my last hit for the night, so gotta savor the flavor, if you know what I mean. Moving on. I have to think that Alberto Del Rio. Honestly,
Hey, there's a crowd in here. Get all these people out of here.
Did somebody just whammy?
I think so. I don't think Rob Van Dam has the talent, but I don't think they're gonna give him the title. If they do, the only way I see this possibly him winning is if he wins, and then the possibility of Damien Sandow cashing in Money in the Bank, which again, still impossible. Billy, over to you.
Rick, what was one of the first things I said on day one since we found out that Ricardo Rodriguez was aligning himself with Rob Van Dam and the fact that Rob Van Dam is going to get a title match? What was one of the things I said? I said I sense a swerve. And I still say it to this day. I still say that this is a big swerve by Ricardo Rodriguez and Alberto Del Rio. Don't be surprised to see Ricardo Rodriguez turn on Rob Van Dam during the match, helping Alberto Del Rio to retain the World Heavyweight title against him. And then next thing you know, we'll see them embracing and a big smile on both their faces and making fun of Rob Van Dam, saying that you fell for it. You fell for it. I still say, you know what? I say that this is a big swerve by Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez. I say Ricardo's going to turn on Rob Van Dam during the match. That's a prop bet right there, James. And the fact that he's going to help Alberto Del Rio win and retain the World Heavyweight title at Night of Champions. I firmly still believe that.
Both of them will ride out the arena on donkeys.
No, Alberto Del Rio will have the donkey, and Ricardo Rodriguez will have the Shetland pony.
You mean like Don Quixote and Sancho?
Yeah.
So, Andy, you agree to that? You think that's how it's going to work out? Play out?
Really, Rob Van Dam should win, but he's only just come in the company for his little pat on the back in his Hall of Fame, so I don't see them giving Rob Van Dam the championship so soon after coming straight back. I really don't. As much as he deserves it, I don't think they'll give it to him so soon. But I don't see by having Alberto Del Dingo win, I don't see what they're going to achieve, because at the moment he's only having a few.
Andy, say his name right. It's Alberto Del Quifo. I'll say it again, Alberto Del Quifo. I'll say it one more time for old WGS radio reference, Alberto Del Quifo.
Yeah, because really the only person he's having a feud with at the moment is Rob Van Dam. So once he's beat Rob Van Dam, who's he going to have a feud with? So really it would be logical sense to give it to RVD, who's not got a feud with anybody, and it's open for anybody then to have a go at him. Otherwise, we're going to get a rematch in the next pay-per-view. Because Alberto's got no feud with anybody else at the moment. It's just all picking on RVD.
No. All right. Lance, over to you. Your thoughts?
Well, I see this going one of two ways. RVD winning, and then the next pay-per-view, or whenever they decide to give Del Rio his title shot, then Rodriguez turning on him. Actually, I think that's what I'm going with.
All right. And Will?
Well, if nobody's seen this one coming by now, then you're fucked in the head, because obviously this is not just a no-brainer on why Rodriguez teamed up with RVD. This is an inside job, and not just the inside job. This is just to get on the blank side of RVD. So I basically agree with everybody here. This is an inside plot. This is to throw RVD off his game. He's going to lose to Del Taco Bell as usual, and it's going to be back to the I'm Alberto Del Rio, my destiny is still to be your world heavyweight champion and Fiesta, Sangria, whatever the hell you want to call it. And I really don't care. But Del Rio will win and RVD will be stabbed in the back. So I have to agree with everybody here.
Somewhere out there, YouTube user by the name of Ecstasy69. This jaw is just dropped as he is in shock and peril.
When are they going to give? I want to know when they can give the large version of, if you can remember this television program, the large version of Tattoo from Fantasy Island. When are they going to give him a proper
When he can
wrestling?
fly the plane.
Yeah. When hey boss, it's a plane. When are they going to give him an actual proper, not just a one-off chance? When are they going to let him get back in the ring? Because he's an ex-wrestler anyway. So when are they going to let him fight? Alberto.
Are you talking about Haku?
No.
Ricardo
Ricardo.
Montalblanc.
Ricardo Rodriguez. Because Ricardo Rodriguez, well, for one thing, let's face it, the WWE does not like small guys. RVD is, but RVD is just, I mean, he's built. This guy does, they've ripped his shirt off a couple of times, and although he's tattooed, he's just kind of like flabby. And
Can somebody please?
Well, let's look at it like this: who is a more established name in wrestling right now, Rob Van Dam or Ricardo Rodriguez?
Again,
thank you.
I'm going to mention this for the benefit of Will. If Hulk Hogan's sponsored by Air Jordan, I don't know what you call them in America, but can somebody who does babies' nappies please sponsor Rob Van Dam? Because I'm sick of seeing his sweaty arse crack.
Oh, God.
Gentlemen, you forgot the one main thing that Rob will not get a chance to win the title. He left to go to TNA.
Oh, yeah.
But he did win the WWE. But,
that was before he went to TNA.
Yes, but I don't think he's going to win it just for that, for that reason alone. But even still, he's getting to that age where he's only wants to work part-time, I think. So...
but didn't RVD leave WWE 2006? That he was on the indie scene for a while, and then he came to TNA about late 2009, I believe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think wasn't he having his wife having health issues?
Yeah, cancer.
Yeah, she was dying of
she
cancer,
had
I believe.
No, she got better.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
good on her.
So you think on that fact, Joe, that WWE will never give him a title shot? That's what
I think what they're going to do is they're going to give him I agree with everyone here. Billy, you got the nod for me. Definitely, you hit it right on the nail when it comes to that swerve. You're going to see Ricardo right at what better way to basically make fun of a former TNA guy by literally taking him down a notch, by having him literally lose in a big show to the biggest swerve to a guy who's lesser, less talent than RVD. You're going to see poor RVD. He's going to get smacked around. He's going to get the swerve. And this will be probably a lesson to, other guys who go to TNA. Look what they did to Christian. Right there is your answer.
Well, and the sad thing is, while we're talking about RVD real quick, that he actually decided to quit smoking weed while he came back to WWE. Well, they said in the interview he said he chose to quit while he's with the company. They didn't
The only thing is, how true is that? Because if you watch the interview with, I think it was CBN and Vince McMahon, he actually admits on the interview they don't even test for weed. So
really?
He can smoke weed every day of the week, and the wellness program does not take into consideration weed. It's performance-enhancing drugs. Weed doesn't even come into it.
Not only that, the fake stuff, too. They said that's more dangerous than weed itself.
All they're interested in is like anabolic steroids and that sort of thing. They're not interested in recreational drugs. That's why it made me laugh when they said Randy Orton was caught with cannabis in his bag. They don't even test for it. He might have been caught with it in his bag, but he wouldn't have got suspended for it because out of Vince's mouth himself, they do not test for weed.
Yeah. And
at all.
But you know what? Again, it's not the drugs. It's the situation with him leaving to go to TNA. He went to a rival company. He won their titles there. He came back. It's the same thing that happened to Christian. They're gonna prove that, hey, this guy has no value. They're gonna basically do the ultimate swerve. He'll probably get a bunch of good rematches. But for the time being, you're going to see him not get the belt. And if he does get the belt, TNA is going to be like, wow, he was with us. Man, we should have kept him because, look, now he's their world champion.
But another thing you've got to take into consideration is he's really known for ECW. And Vince has done nothing but shat all over ECW.
But you know what, though? Even when he was in ECW and they shut over the ECW, what did they do? They gave him the WWE title. I mean, now, do I think he's going to win the world title? Possibly. And like I said, if he wins it, he's going to get it lost that quick when, if Damien Sandow cashes in. That's the only possibility. And that's, again, we'll say, yeah, you won it, but you lost it that fast. You were just a transitional champion. Do I see him holding on to it for longevity? No.
Do you honestly see, though, can't even speak, do you honestly see that Damien Sandow could beat Rob Van Dam?
Hell no.
Not in a straight-up one-on-one match from start to finish. I'm saying if he had just gotten on a real bad match, wins the title, and then Alberto Del Rio gets pissed and attacks him a couple more times, and fucks up his arm real bad, and then all of a sudden, who comes down? Bang.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Damien Sandow comes down at the last second. 1, 2, 3. Gets the title. You telling me that can't happen?
Now, what about this? What if he does come down and loses? Does he lose? Obviously, he's going to lose his Money in the Bank.
Yeah, and that's a possibility too. But now, what would that say about Rob Van Dam?
But I would like somebody on the Facebook page or somebody who's listening to the broadcast to please tell me why he's actually got. What's Sandow done to deserve to even get a chance at the title? Why have they give it to him?
Money in the Bank.
Yeah, why have they given him Money in the Bank? I mean, what's he done? The man's a joke, really. He's just coming into the WWE. Well, he's been in a couple of years now, but he's just making a name for himself. And to give him the Money in the Bank is a bit early on in his career, I think. It's a bit of a joke. Makes a mockery of the locker room. There's far more deserving people.
Yeah, I think you really would have said that about any of the guys who were involved in the Rising Star Money in the Bank ladder match, Andy, wouldn't you?
No, not really. I just think that guy is really talentless. I just think his gimmick is old hat and it's talentless. I don't wish to be racist, but it's the WWE putting a black guy in, the token black guy.
Wait, huh?
You know what? I have to. I in a business aspect, I don't see Damien Sandow as world champion material. I just don't see him being in that position because no matter what, that belt is prestigious in its own way, but you want to put somebody in there who's, that's really going to make a difference. And regardless of how everybody feels, Alberto Del Rio, it's a championship material. RVD's championship material. Yeah. Oh, geez, the Big Show, anybody, there's a lot of people that is championship material. And I'm sorry, that guy, Damien Sandow, just doesn't cut it, at least to me.
Yeah, to me, the belt is the WWE are putting it on the guy that they want to push and the guy that they want to represent their brand. Do you see Damien Sandow being the representative of WWE? I don't. Not even in the next 10 years, I don't. I don't think he's got it, as we keep talking about. I don't even think he ever should have won the Money in the Bank. I think it's a bad call on somebody's part. Really do think it's a bad call. They might as well give it Santino. He's a well-known face.
Let me ask you, when you first watched Shawn Michaels, and I'm talking back when he was wrestling the One-Man Gang, before he became the Rockers, did you think Shawn Michaels had it?
Yes.
Really? When he was wrestling the One-Man Gang, before he became the Rockers?
And I even saw when everyone laughs about this, but I even saw the it factor when we had the ringmaster as Stone Cold Steve Austin. There is just something about that guy. There's something about that guy. Even the prototype with John Cena. You watch the old OVWs. That guy just shines.
Well, like I said, getting off.
You don't wake up one day with the it. You're born with it. And the moment you do, whether you're a singer, the moment you walk on that stage, even if it's 20 years before you become popular, they have it, and it stands out. John Cena in OVW, the prototype, had it. Randy Orton had it. Definitely had it from day one. It isn't something you can learn. It isn't something that you can inherit from your parents. You just have that charisma, and they stuck out for me.
No, and you got to remember too, the world title basically just represents SmackDown. So you're representing that show's basically their main champion. And there's really, at this point in time, gentlemen, look at everybody on their roster. There is no one on their roster that even comes close to championship material.
And I think that's why they kind of had to just give that Money in the Bank to some people and said, okay, fine, let's see who can take that ball and run with it. Now, I think Damien Sandow, again, I think I think he has skill. I like him on the mic. I find him entertaining. I think you might not always have it, but I think eventually you can get it. Like I said, Shawn Michaels, I really wasn't really impressed with him until he finally kicked Monty Jannetty through the window at the barbershop. I didn't see who he was when he was the Rockers. When he was the Rockers, I was like, this guy's not going to go nowhere. I'm like, this team's not going to go nowhere. Never thought they would. And then all of a sudden, Shawn Michaels goes solo and he becomes HBK and he became a totally different person to me. Same thing with Bret Hart. And when they were the Hart, Foundation, I saw them go up gradually and they kind of got my attention. But did I ever see him becoming the world champion? I didn't. But he never changed his character either. When they finally started giving them that push, I'm like, holy shit. And he went solo. It happened. I don't know what makes, some people you say are born with it. I disagree. Look at Triple H. I can keep on going on and on and on about wrestlers. Very few wrestlers I can say I saw from day one and saw they had it.
Andy, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
If you have it, can you take medicine for it?
I think so, but did I not call again, and it's come true, and I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet, I think everybody on the call at the time thought I'd grown 15 heads and lost my plot. But when Nexus came on, I said the only person that's got any credibility in that group is Daniel Bryan, and they got rid of him on the same night. And who's the poster boy at the moment?
Daniel
Bryan. And don't get me wrong.
He had it. The moment he walked out, he was just it.
Well,
now,
he didn't walk.
Remember,
he wasn't walked out. He choked Justin Roberts, which I think was a bad no-no. I think he wasn't supposed to do that.
The only thing I think they're doing wrong with Daniel Bryan at the moment, in my honest opinion, is he needs to get rid of that beard because I liked him.
No.
I liked him as the clean-cut guy. He was like the AJ Styles of the WWE. He was a nice, clean-cut guy, and I think putting that beard on him looks a bit like, is it Darren Young from TNA? It's too much like a copy of Darren Young, and I don't like the gimmick.
Young, the former lawyer that was in Nexus.
Eric Young.
Andy, you mean Eric?
Eric Young.
Yeah.
Eric Young, EY.
I just don't think that beard is doing him any favors. It's making him look, for the want of a better term, a douchebag.
No,
I think it makes him look marketable.
I think when he first came out with it, I agree with you, Andy, because it was kind of like, it made him look like psychotic. But now they're starting to come out with the shirts. Respect the beard. The beard is here, and it's working. And not to mention, he's kind of keeping it clean. Rather, it's not like getting really naughty and ratty. And I think eventually he'll cut it when it's no longer selling for him. Right now, it's selling for him.
Take note, Mike Knox.
All right. As we get off topic here,
we got way off topic, so let's get back.
James was supposed to pick for his thoughts for the World Heavyweight Championship match.
James?
I'm just letting y'all talk about it, but
yeah, we can. Go ahead. This is Listen Radio. We always get off topic.
Well, the thing about the swerve. I can't say nothing about that. I'm not gonna say anything because I know what happens, and y'all not gonna like what happens on SmackDown.
It's all right. You don't have to tell us. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Can we have that?
Y'all,
Can we have that
y'all
with
not gonna,
subtitles?
y'all not gonna like what happened on SmackDown, and that kind of contradicts a couple of y'all people who say the swerve could happen. But I think overall, I'm gonna have to say Ravi and Dame wins, but they're gonna let Damian Sandow cash it. I know a lot of y'all not gonna like it, but that's what's to me. This is what's gonna happen.
James's prediction comes by the letters W, T, and F. What the fuck?
I know, but it's just that
James, what did we tell you about consorting with the homeless person that lives in the basement of the Hudat Temple?
As I said, you're not gonna like what happened on SmackDown.
Well, let's get over to the tag team match. We're supposed to have Rollins and Reigns supposed to defend their titles against the winners of tag team turmoil. We're just gonna pretty much,
I think we should just leave that one up in the air because of the fact that this match.
All right, fair enough. So let's move on to the world title, the WWE title then. Which
because we don't have a concrete match. Yes, we do know the tag team titles are up for grabs, but we don't know who the challengers are going to be until the night of Champions with tag team turmoil.
Well, okay, fair enough.
Is it just me though? We keep talking about like when the Divas match is on, we're going to go for a piss break and so on and so forth. But isn't the old pay-per-view a complete makeover, an haircut, a bath, a beer, a candlelit dinner, and then turn the pay-per-view off? Is there any match that's getting anybody really excited?
So far, I'll be honest with you, the match that has me excited is probably the main event match.
It's a normal Monday Night Raw with a pay-per-view tag attached to it.
I think the only difference
I'm not excited about any matches in the pay-per-view, and I'm sure 90% of the people listening feel the same way. The pay-per-views are getting proper lame ass.
Yeah, gentlemen, let me throw this in. The reasons, and I have to agree with Andy. To me, the pay-per-views used to mean something. It used to mean that you get to see the champions fight the contenders, and it's like we've seen so many of the same thing over and over on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown that you don't get excited anymore. So it's, in all honesty, it has lost its luster to see a pay-per-view. If I think Rick, you and I talked about this, if WWE would have cut back on pay-per-views and they would build up the stars like they used to do, and again, fans, people listening, I hate to be that way, but I am an old timer. I love the classics. But if it went back to the 4 main pay-per-views, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam, not necessarily in that order, it will be a lot better world because then you can build up the champions fighting jobbers. I hate to say that for all the talent that's listening, but you get your guys over. Then when they finally meet those challengers, the champions finally defend those belts, it means something more. All these matches that you guys are reading out to me really doesn't get me excited because we've probably seen them 1,000 times on Raw or SmackDown. And if whatever happens on Night of Champions, you're going to see the rematch on Raw or SmackDown. So how is it special?
Yeah.
Hasn't Daniel
Round
Bryan
of applause.
Orton?
Fully agree. Fully agree.
We
only ever saw, and this is probably only going back 10 years ago, we only ever saw belts change hands on a pay-per-view. Now it's weekly on Raw.
It's one thing I do know.
What is there out there? What are the WWE doing now to make me put my hand in my pocket and pay them $40 when I can watch Raw on Monday night for free? What are they doing to squeeze that $40 out of my pocket? Because they're not putting matches together that are making me want to even open my pocket, let alone put my hand in it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do like most people do and sod the pay-per-view and download it off the internet for free. because I ain't going to waste my $40 on a match that I can watch on Monday Night Raw on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I agree that the pay-per-view quality has gone to shit. The one thing that I've noticed that you find on pay-per-views that you don't find on the titles are not they don't happen as often. I mean, the same matches occur, I agree, but the titles, not really. I mean, you'll see Randy Orton fight, but it's usually not for the title. Like, how many times have we seen Curtis Axel actually fight a match, but not actually put the title on the line? We've seen champion versus champion, but they're not putting the titles on the line.
Yeah, but we've even said this before. You can guarantee this is how predictable wrestling is, and I want anyone out there in listening land, Facebook land, or whatever, prove me wrong. Whenever a champion fights somebody else, whenever somebody challenges a champion and the championship belt is not on the line, why does the champion always lose?
Because they want
to. It's just so predictable. That's why the title's not on the line, because he's going to lose. Stop insulting their intelligence, for God's sake.
I agree with you. It's,
The moment they put that magic word, the title is not on the line, they might as well just say, the title holder's going to lose tonight. I don't know of any exceptions in the last 10 years where the champion's actually won when the title's not on the line. And I want anybody out there in Facebook land, show me one over the last 2 or 3 years we can even remember, because I can't remember.
Andy?
It's always the
this past Monday,
the person kicking somebody's arse
versus Del Rio.
No, we're on about pay-per-views.
Oh.
It happens every week on Monday Night Raw, but on a pay-per-view, can anyone tell me where a champion's actually lost if it's a non-championship title?
Let me look at that. I'll be right back.
I don't remember the last time it happened. The champion always seems to lose, whether they get screwed out of it and hit over the head with something or run-ins, but it's an open invitation for the champion to lose, to give the crowd a bit of excitement, to say, oh, that guy who fought the champion last week can actually beat such and such a body. Maybe when he has a run for the championship officially, he's got a bit of a chance. It's all like that little step on the pedestal to make us believe that such and such a body can beat the champion when the championship is not up for grabs. Let's make the match more excitable, but it doesn't work because they've done it too many times. They've worked the gimmick to death.
Yeah.
They need to change the gimmick. They need to catch us off guard. There's 4 or 5 things in wrestling that have happened over the last 5 years that have actually excited all of us, and that's the CM Punk, breaking kayfabe or Diddy, and AJ a couple of weeks ago. But apart from that, they're both verbalizations. They're not actually wrestling angles. When was the last wrestling angle that came on the TV that you've actually gone, wow, that's blown me away? Because I'm sorry, the Wyatts don't blow me away. I explode every time I see him come on the screen because I think, WTF.
What about Shawn Michaels and Undertaker WrestleMania 25?
But again, that wasn't a title on the line.
You know what? Good point.
He's saying a champion that had the belt.
See, you just know, if the Undertaker's streak wasn't on the line and they said the Undertaker's streak is not on the line at this WrestleMania, you just know the Undertaker's going to lose.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The streak is always on the line.
But if they made a hypothetical exception to the rule, who would win? He'd lose.
Put it like this: if the streak was not on the line, and it was WrestleMania, and Undertaker was taking on Triple H, Triple H is going to get the nod over him.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't get the nod the first 3 times.
Because the streak was on the line.
Yeah.
I don't know. Joseph is probably the best person with being in the industry, but why? I know Joseph's old school like myself and believes in rejuvenating some of the old storylines and so on, but why can't wrestling promoters come up with some new angle. Somebody must have designed the angle where we don't put the belt on the line and the champion loses. That must have been discussed somewhere. Why can't people discuss a new angle that is new to all of us, that catches us off guard? But everything is going back 10, 20 years ago. We've seen it all before. There's nothing new in wrestling.
And the reason why, Andy, I'll tell you, I've had creative meetings with my staff over this. Even with the champions, I've sat down with them. We've actually had luncheons that turned into dinners because we went over this. It's because all the fans have seen it done already. It's any concept that you've come across that you could think of, it has been done. It has been repeated. Whatever, rinsed, repeated, dried. It's hard to come up with a new concept because even if you came up with a new concept, it's been done before. So you just take, like for us, what we do is we take the old concept and we just redo it in a new type of frame, but it's still the same old concept. So it's, again, with the internet, with spoilers going on, James put that down already. Stop looking for stuff. All those things have really ruined professional wrestling. It's not surprising anymore. So if you did come up with a scenario or the storyline, 9 times out of 10, people will say, "Oh yeah, we saw this back with the Horsemen or with Dusty or with Hogan," because it's been played out so many times. Even us in the independents, it's really hard to do storylines or come up with new concepts because sooner or later somebody's done it already, So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to really, and when you do come up with it, people can never get it enough to say, "Oh, okay." People need to see something familiar to understand it.
Oh.
Well, Rick, this has been a very exciting discussion about Night of Champions, hasn't it?
Yeah.
If we go way off topic again.
One more thing, another topical thing for the Facebook page to get people talking. Why do people think it's justified? And this is more of a knock on TNA, because TNA are the ones that get affected by it most. Why do people think it's justified to actually post on Facebook pages or on YouTube spoilers for people like me in the UK that don't get the TNA product for about 4 days after it's shown in the States? I don't want to know who wins the matches. And then they wonder why the viewing figures go down. I've had this discussion with Billy and Rick on many occasions. There's nothing I hate more than if I have to go bed early and miss a pay-per-view, and I wake up on the Monday morning and I'm opening my profile on my Facebook page and some idiots posted down all the matches. I do not then watch the pay-per-view. I don't need to because the results are right in front of me. And I just want to know. I just want to know why people justify themselves in putting out spoilers on a wrestling product that we're all fans of, because that's why the wrestling fans are just not watching. And I'll use the TNA scenario as an example because they don't do a live product. So the fans are killing the thing that we love so much. Just think about what you're doing before you do it.
Well, all right, hold on. Now, I'll answer that. You know what? Obviously, we've gone from Night of Champions to In the Moment show. So we're just kind of here, sitting here shooting the shit, folks. So if we didn't get to the whole Night of Champions, well, that's tough fucking shit.
Well,
Talk about Wrestle Radio.
Who cares? As we've said before, who cares about
Daniel Bryan?
Yeah.
Who cares about the current shit? There's that many radio stations that do the current shit. Let's do something a bit off the topic. I mean, yeah. I'm all for that. Everybody, there's going to be 5,000 radio shows that are going to be talking about Night of Champions. Whoop-de-doo, we're different. That's why we are different than everybody else.
Yeah.
That's what we should be marketing for. And if you fans want to listen to a show that's going to be doing Monday Night Raw reviews and this, that, and the other, you're tuning into the wrong station.
Yeah, turn into WGS TV on youtube.com/WrestleGamer.
Yeah, you're listening to the wrong product because we talk about things that are important in wrestling.
Right, like Miss Tessmacher. Let's move on to that.
You really want to bring up Miss Tessmacher?
You're the only one bringing up Miss Tessmacher. Okay?
Hey, Miss Tessmacher's fucking hot.
The first time she came on.
Does anyone have a
The only thing is,
contract?
I'm inclined to agree. Miss Tessmarker is hot, but they had quite a few close-ups of her on the Total Knockouts pay-per-view the other night, and she ain't that hot when you get up close to her.
It's all right. I won't be looking at her face.
As my father used to say, you don't look at the face when you're poking the fire.
Yep.
Is that why it's called a poker?
I'm not even going there.
I'm talking about a fireplace poker.
That's why Lady Gaga sings about Poker Face.
But to answer your question, Andy, is why so many people post spoilers, as you call them. I don't call them spoilers. With me, I'm posting stuff as it happens on my Facebook page. And I had someone who was actually getting pissed at me. I believe he's from your neck of the woods. And he's like, "Hey, mate, what are you posting that stuff for?" Well, I'm trying to watch this match, and I keep on here, getting your little messages. I'm like, first off, I'm posting on my Facebook page. He goes, "Yeah, well, I follow your Facebook too, and I'm getting these same responses too at the same time." I'm like, "Well, sorry, but this is what I do."
It's true. Do you know how I'm not going to drop any people's names now, but do you know when we've been on calls watching pay-per-views and somebody's, shall I say this horrible word, stream is running a little bit quicker than everybody else's, and they go, "Oh yeah, Randy Orton's won on a 3 count," and he hasn't even pinned him on our stream. Do you feel really pissed off about that?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Because I know you've blown your stack. Unfortunately, when I've had this conversation before, I go on Facebook, I haven't watched the pay-per-view, and someone's done a play-by-play of what's gone on, and it pisses me off no end. Imagine, because I know Will likes his football. Imagine me coming on and say, "Oh, the San Francisco 49ers have just won 68-3. He'd go, "Oh, fucking thanks, Andy. Thanks very much for spoiling it for me." That's just how bad it is. Because it happens in America before it happens in the UK. Americans have this attitude that they are the only people that matter. People in the UK probably get it the day after, and you've already spoilt it for us.
Well, you know what the funny thing is I actually put a voting poll on our Facebook page and said, "Would you like to see these play-by-play, like SmackDown, Raw, Impact, pay-per-views, play-by-plays with picks?" Because that's what I usually do. And I got out of like 50 or 60 people said yes, and then the rest didn't even answer. I think
half of them liked it.
Yeah, I got likes, and then I got maybe 5 or 10 no. So I'm like, all right.
One of the things, we blame fans and other people for, literally posting stuff up and say, "Oh, spoilers and everything." But it comes out of the major companies. It's, unfortunately, sometimes it's even the major talent or someone within the companies leaking information. It's, to me, the whole scenario of people putting out spoilers, it kind of defeats really the purpose. That's why, I know, I run a small company, so it doesn't matter what we do, but I never tell my talent until the day to show who's winning, who's losing, who's doing this and this. I think the major companies should do the same way, so that nothing gets leaked out. It's like, okay, yeah, you're in this match, you're in this match. You're not going to know, nobody's going to know until the night of the show or before we send you out that curtain. Sure, you got to practice your finishes, you got to get ready for whoever. Practice your finishes regardless, but you won't know until you go out there. I think, again, the internet, all the smart marks and all that, all the spoilers, no offense, Rick, it kind of dilutes the products, because then you already know, so it's not special anymore. Imagine this, gentlemen, and all the fans listening. Imagine if they had spoilers when Hogan beat Andre at WrestleMania 3. How many people would have still looked at the pay-per-view?
Not as many.
What about when Ric Flair beat Dusty Rhodes for his, for the title for what? The umpteenth time. Would people have watched it? Absolutely not. Same thing with Mick Foley, Stone Cold. It's kind of like, well, okay, now we know it's done. It was kind of like, you know what? It was kind of like Eric Bischoff the night when they did Monday Nitro and they gave away the spoilers literally for the WWE when Mick Foley won the title. It had a backlash, absolutely, but now it's like some fans probably say, "Oh, now we know what's going on over there. We're not going to watch it." It's it's kind of I don't know. It just takes away the mystique of it all.
How many ticket sales do you think you would lose, Joseph, if you published on your poster tonight? We've got Randy Savage against Hulk Hogan. By the way, Randy Savage wins. We've got Steve Austin against The Rock. By the way, The Rock wins. If you published who was going to win and who's going to lose, do you think that'd have a knock-on effect on your ticket sales?
Oh, absolutely. We'll be inviting more chairs than fans.
Yeah, precisely. And that's why spoilers is killing the product, because people are tuning out because they're sick of reading spoilers. And people say, well, I post them on my page. But the only thing is, if you follow a particular page on Facebook, it comes on your main page when you log in. When I log onto my main page, if something new that I'm following has posted a product or posted something, it's on my main page. I can't get away from it. So what do? Neglect going on my Facebook page for a day because I don't want to see spoilers?
Here's a concept that I think will fix the problem of spoilers. Actually run a show, like a podcast, whatever, like you folks. Run a show doing the pay-per-view event. So that way you are all grouped together. You don't know any spoilers. You tune out the spoilers. You enjoy the show. You relate to your fans and say, hey, wow, guys, Randy Orton just beat such and such, or this and this and this. You do it live so you can literally get to feel like the surprise. And I know one or two, I know another podcast that does that, and it works effectively because it's instant moment. You're listening in, you're tuning in, and you're listening to, if you're not watching the pay-per-view or you're not streaming it, downloading it, whatever, now you're listening to it, and you're listening to these folks' actual, surprise. So
Yeah,
I think
living the moment.
Living the moment. Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, I quite agree, because nothing is more frustrating than somebody coming and telling you the results of whether it's a football match, rugby match, cricket, doesn't matter, soccer, you name it. If someone tells you the score and you're an avid fan, it pisses you off to the end that you're not going to watch. I'm an avid Formula One fan, and a couple of times I've put the radio on when it's not being shown live on the TV. It's probably got a 4-hour delay, and they say, Lewis Hamilton's just won the Formula One Grand Prix, and I think, thank you, I won't bother watch that at 4 o'clock this afternoon. I'll go and watch something else.
Well, put it like this: it's like the people in Japan. Think about it. If they found out spoilers, Godzilla's invading Tokyo today, then you pretty much say, okay, then we're avoiding Tokyo today.
Yeah.
You're going to go to Okinawa. So it's kind of like, you already know what's happening. I think it's just the mystique is, you lose the mystique of it all.
Yeah.
Well, Rick, we're definitely going off the subject. Meanwhile,
what subject is that? Who are we talking about? Wait a minute, hold on. Where am I?
This is in the moment.
It's in the moment. Oh, I thought we were talking about Night of Champions, but okay, yeah, I guess we're in the moment again.
And we could do both. And we could do both.
I predict Randy Orton will keep his title thanks to the Shield and the new corporate alliance.
Yeah, I'm with him.
Yeah, I agree that. You know what?
Ditto.
Same here. Ditto. Andy?
Okay.
Same.
I'm just gonna, I think Randy Orton's gonna lose by disqualification.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
all good.
DQ.
Okay, well now that's done.
Yep.
Put the page out, ball it up, throw it over your shoulder. We were talking about Miss Tessmacher before now.
And how sexy she is.
Really? I've never noticed.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Do we have to pick between those two?
Is it me, or does SoCal Val look like a fish?
He said a fish.
Does she look like a trout?
I always thought that she looked like a thumb.
A thumb.
Yeah, her face looks like a thumb.
She looks like
doesn't
one of them.
And it's like Mr. Potato Head. It's like they put the face on the wrong body. You know, it's like
Yeah.
the head is so round and the body is like, well,
It's those
It looks,
eyes.
looks
those
like one of them.
big-ass eyes, those
Looks like one of them
football
stress
eyes.
relieving toys that businessmen have in their office that you just squeeze the crap out of.
you mean the blow up dolls?
No, that's the secretary.
Oh,
Oh.
Shit.
yeah, we really went off the subject here, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for joining us. Goodbye. Just kidding.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up for this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Radio. I'd like to thank everybody who are coming over here tonight. Andy, where can we find you at?
You can find me at www.stokehaunted.com. And just a quick one for our friend Joseph there. I should be posting your thing that I promised this weekend. I've just got one more to wait for, and I've got the full Monty, so everything's done now.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
And if Billy's still with us, Billy, where can I find you at?
On youtube.com/WrestleGamer, and be sure to look for my reviews of DMC Devil May Cry, Dead Space, and also my review and my take on the Diablo 3 demo, currently available now for all consoles. Be sure you check it out, youtube.com/WrestleGamer.
Deadly silence. Tumbleweed. Rick.
Will?
Yes.
And Will, where can people find you at?
Was that boring, Rick? Did I put you to sleep?
Actually, do you want me to answer that question?
I'm just gonna say Will is not in the call, so I will take over for him.
Oh, okay, fine. Where can we find you at?
It's to give that TV/Bay Area MVP. That's Will's, and for me, it's to give that TV/Fatboy504 game shows, wrestling talk, football talk, just how we do it.
All right, thank you, James. And Lance, where can people find you at?
YouTube.com/LanceMossTV. I do wrestling reviews, album reviews, NASCAR reviews, and whatever else pops in my head.
And Joe, thanks again for coming and joining us. Why don't you tell everybody about Classic Wrestling Association?
Well, they can find me at basically ClassicWrestlingAssociation.com. Also on Facebook, also with the same thing, ClassicWrestling.com. You can follow us on Twitter at Joseph Knight CWA, and pretty much occasionally I'll be on here.
For everybody here, the Shining Star, Rick Star, you can always find us over at Facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And anytime you want to listen to our shows, head on over to Spreaker.com/HWR Media. Make sure you like us. Make sure you hit the follow button. So, I'm Shining Star, Rick Star saying, see you when we see you.
Tonight's episode of Hardcore Wrestling Radio being provided by James and the Big Easy's brand new charity, Chair Shots for Hemorrhoids.
Thank you for listening to this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Radio. Be sure to follow us on our pages, Facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio and Spreaker.com/HWR Media, and also on YouTube.com/HWR Show. Until the next time, this is Rick Starr saying, see you when we see you.